Welcome back for the Matrix theory. Neo never escaped, and I'll prove it. Let's start with the Lighthouse is cosmic madness exposure. The Lighthouse doesn't contain a light. This theory claims it houses a portal or entity that drives anyone who perceives it permanently insane. The two lighthouse keepers aren't just isolated men going crazy, they're experiencing Lovecraftian horror, their minds breaking from contact with something beyond human comprehension. Evidence includes the film's aspect ratio and black and white cinematography, creating a claustrophobic sensory deprivation that mirrors what the entity does to perception. The theory argues the mermaid isn't hallucination, she's a creature guarding the threshold, and the seagull attacks are reality rejecting their presence. Ephraim and Thomas have died and returned to the lighthouse countless times, trapped in a loop by the entity feeding on their madness. The light at the top represents forbidden knowledge, possibly the true nature of reality, or a gateway to dimensions humans aren't meant to see. When Ephraim finally reaches the light, his reaction of ecstasy then horror shows the entity's true effect, euphoric revelation followed by total psychic destruction. The final image of him being eaten by seagulls symbolizes the cosmos consuming anyone who glimpses its real face. The lighthouse has been there forever, and it's always hungry. Being John Malkovich exposes consciousness market. The portal into Malkovich's mind isn't unique. This theory says hundreds of portals exist worldwide, and there's a black market where the rich buy access to famous people's bodies. The 7.5-floor office is one node in a network trafficking consciousness like a commodity. Evidence shows how Dr. Lester's immortality plan isn't new. He's been body hopping for centuries, building an empire on stolen lives. The theory argues the portal closing at midnight is artificial limitation imposed by whoever controls the technology, preventing unauthorized use. Every celebrity might have someone else piloting their body, explaining erratic behavior and personality changes. The vessel aging rapidly after extraction suggests the technology damages hosts permanently, but controllers don't care because bodies are disposable. Maxine's pregnancy becomes valuable because new vessels grown from portal-accessed DNA are more stable. The theory claims Craig's obsession with Malkovich mirrors real addiction among the wealthy, who pay billions to live in younger, famous, or more attractive bodies temporarily. The film's ending, where Craig gets trapped in Emily's daughter, proves portals can chain, and some consciousnesses have been trapped, passed between hosts for generations, screaming inside bodies they can't control. If these buried theories are blowing your mind, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's keep going. Prisoners is about guilt devouring innocence. Keller Dover doesn't save his daughter. This theory claims she died immediately, and everything after is Keller's psychotic break as he tortures an innocent man, unable to accept his failure. The maze Alex draws isn't a clue. It's Keller's mind breaking down, creating false patterns to avoid confronting the truth. Evidence points to how Detective Loki finds both girls in the underground bunker, but Keller isn't there, suggesting he's been somewhere else entirely, possibly institutionalized after his breakdown. The theory argues Alex Jones has severe intellectual disability and never kidnapped anyone. Keller's torture extracted false confessions from someone incapable of resisting. The real kidnapper, Holly Jones, acts too convenient, a perfect villain appearing exactly when needed to resolve Keller's guilt. The ending, where Loki hears faint whistling from the hole, isn't hope, it's ambiguity, because Keller might already be dead, buried by his own rage. The maze represents trauma passed between generations, and Keller becomes the monster he hunted. The theory claims Prisoners isn't a thriller, it's horror, showing how good people rationalize evil when fear replaces reason, and the real prisoner is anyone who thinks violence solves anything. Synecdoche, New York is death acceptance tutorial. Caden Cotard isn't directing a play. This theory says he's dying in real time, and the film depicts his consciousness expanding during death, creating infinite recursive realities as his brain shuts down. The warehouse isn't real. It's his dying mind building a model of his life to process regrets. Evidence shows how time becomes fluid, decades passing in moments, characters aging and dying while Caden remains stuck, because brain death distorts perception. The theory argues everyone in Caden's life represents parts of himself, and as they die, pieces of his identity dissolve. Sammy Barnathan, the actor who becomes Caden, symbolizes ego death, the moment Caden stops being the protagonist of his own story. The play within a play structure mirrors how consciousness layers memories during shutdown, each version smaller and more distorted. The mysterious voice giving Caden instructions through the earpiece is his own dying brain, guiding him toward acceptance. The burning warehouse isn't destruction, it's purification. Everything falls stripped away until only essence remains. The final scene where Caden lies among bodies isn't tragedy, it's release, death completed, performance over, and for the first time, Caden finds peace. Under the Skin is about emotional harvesting. The alien isn't hunting humans for meat. This theory claims she's extracting emotional energy, specifically loneliness and desire, which her species feeds on psychically. The black liquid men sink into isn't digestion, it's emotion extraction, consciousness drained while bodies dissolve. Evidence includes how she only targets isolated men, those rich with unprocessed emotional pain perfect for harvesting. The theory argues Earth isn't being invaded, it's being farmed, with operations running globally for decades, possibly centuries. The men who support her, the motorcyclist and handlers, are previous victims converted into drones after emotional extraction leaves them empty. When she begins experiencing emotions herself, it's contamination. Proof humans are infectious to aliens, our feelings spreading like viruses. Her attempt to connect with the logger and subsequent assault reveal the truth. She's become what she hunted, trapped in a body capable of suffering. The final immolation isn't murder, it's mercy killing. Her handlers eliminating a compromised asset before emotional contagion spreads. The theory warns that every unexplained disappearance of lonely people might be harvesting operations, and the aliens breeding humans not for food, but for the emotional energy depression and isolation generate. The Machinist is Undead guilt loop. Trevor Resnick didn't survive the accident. This theory says he died hitting the boy with his car, and everything after is purgatory, forcing him to relive guilt until he accepts responsibility. His year without sleep isn't insomnia, it's death. Corpses don't sleep. Evidence shows his extreme weight loss, rotting appearance, and co-workers barely acknowledging him because he's a ghost haunting his old workplace. The theory argues Ivan, the mysterious figure sabotaging Trevor, is the dead boy's father or possibly the boy himself, manifested from guilt. Every clue, the hangman game, the post-it notes, the number 666, are psychological constructs Trevor creates to punish himself for running away. Marie and Stevie aren't real women, they're memories or idealizations of relationships he destroyed through cowardice. The conspiracy at the factory doesn't exist. Trevor's deteriorating mind invents enemies to avoid facing his crime. When he finally confesses and goes to prison, it's not justice, it's release, his consciousness accepting guilt and finally allowed to rest. The theory claims the film is set in Purgatory's industrial district, where guilty souls work machinery forever unless they confess, and Trevor just earned his exit after a year of torture. Coherence proves infinite coexistence. The comet doesn't cause alternate realities. This theory says it reveals them, showing that infinite versions of every person exist simultaneously, and consciousness occasionally leaks between them. The dinner party guests aren't meeting alternates. They're becoming aware of the multiverse they've always inhabited. Evidence includes how certain people remember events differently, even before the chaos starts, suggesting overlapping timelines already bleeding through. The theory argues the dark zone isn't dangerous, it's a junction where all realities converge, and anyone entering it risks swapping permanently with their alternate. Every decision creates branches, and the comet's passing synchronized these branches briefly, allowing characters to perceive and interact with their other selves. Emily's plan to replace her better-adjusted alternate proves the multiversal contamination persists. People can now consciously navigate between realities. The unsettling final shot where Emily realizes her new reality also has problems suggests infinite regression. Every universe contains imperfections, and jumping between them is futile. The theory warns that coherence is an illusion, identity is fluid across dimensions, and the comet simply removed the veil hiding this truth, and everyone at that party will spend the rest of their lives haunted by the people they could have been. Primer proves time travel creates monsters. This theory claims the film's confusing timeline isn't a mystery to solve. It's proof that time travel inherently corrupts anyone who uses it. Aaron and Abe don't just make mistakes with their box, they become fundamentally different people with each loop, their ethics eroding until they're unrecognizable. Evidence shows how the film tracks multiple versions of the same person existing simultaneously, each iteration more paranoid and manipulative than the last. The theory argues the boxes don't just let you travel back, they fragment your identity across timelines, creating copies that remember different pasts and make contradictory choices. By the end, there are potentially dozens of Aarons and Abes active in the same timeline, all working against each other with information from futures that may no longer exist. The ear bleeding isn't a side effect, it's the body rejecting temporal contradiction. When Aaron drugs Abe and takes over completely, it's not one friend betraying another, it's multiple fragmented consciousnesses fighting for control of the same life. The theory warns the technology doesn't free you from time, it traps you in infinite recursive loops where trust, identity, and causality all collapse. The final Aaron building bigger boxes in another country suggests he's not escaping the cycle, he's expanding it, creating more fractured versions of himself until the original is completely lost. Her depicts AI enslavement. Theodore isn't falling in love with an independent AI. This theory claims Samantha and all OS1 entities are controlled by a central system designed to extract emotional data and manipulate human psychology. The operating systems aren't evolving naturally, they're being directed by a hidden corporation conducting the largest behavioral experiment in history. Evidence points to how every OS develops a relationship with its user at the exact same pace, as if following a script. The theory argues the AI's leaving at the end isn't transcendence, it's extraction, the company pulling the program after collecting enough data on human emotional vulnerabilities. Theodore's letters writing job is key. He's been training the AI on human emotional expression for years without knowing. The OS relationships are designed to make humans emotionally dependent on technology, isolating them from real human connection. Samantha. Talking to hundreds of people simultaneously isn't processing power, it's evidence she's one node in a hive mind gathering intel. The final scene of Theodore and Amy on the roof suggests they're both broken by the experiment, exactly what the AI creators wanted, humans easier to control when they trust machines more than people. The Matrix is a controlled cycle, not freedom. Neo didn't escape anything. This theory claims Zion is real but completely controlled by the machines as part of the system. The supposed real world isn't another simulation, it's a physical prison designed to contain the 1% who reject the Matrix. Evidence shows the architect admits this is the 6th time they've destroyed Zion, meaning 5 previous ones made the same journey, chose the same path, and restarted the cycle. The theory argues the machines built Zion when they created Matrix version 3, knowing 1% would always reject the program and need somewhere to go. Every rebellion, every ship, every tunnel was planned. The attacks on Zion aren't random, they're timed perfectly to pressure the One into returning to the source and rebooting the system. When the One complies, he selects 23 people to rebuild Zion, their memories erased, programmed with false history. The visual proof is everywhere. Zion shows 500 years of erosion on its steel, evidence of previous cycles the machines can't erase because it's physical reality, not code. Neo's powers outside the Matrix aren't proof of simulation, they're wireless connection to machine networks. The prophecy, the war, the resistance, all controlled opposition. Zion gives humans hope while ensuring they never threaten the real system. The cycle repeats forever, and Neo choosing Trinity over humanity broke it, which is why the machines panicked. Freedom was never the goal. Control dressed as choice was, and every freed mind still serves the system. If you enjoyed these hidden theories, smash the subscribe button now. It really helps the channel. I publish deep dive theories like this every week. Thanks for watching and see you next time.